Welcome, my dark children, to the Rage of the Stage Players 20th season. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 decades since Carrie and I began this unyielding artistic coven of like-minded individuals from a wide array of backgrounds, all working to provide the city of Pittsburgh with a truly unique, edgy, and twisted theatrical alternative which would amuse, challenge, horrify, thrill, and often corrupt our audiences by making them laugh at things they feel guilty about later. Since 2001, the Rage family has grown and evolved, creating more and more complex guerrilla productions, and did so as an entirely self-funded, not-for-profit collection of volunteers, with all ticket proceeds reinvested into the company, so that each show nourishes the next. Without outside support, we'd needed answer to nor fear anyone, pushing forward at ramming speed, our power unchecked, and the wisdom of our reckless decisions unquestioned. Ah, the freedom. The dangerous freedom abused at every opportunity. Rage is my life's work as a producer and designer, and director, and playwright, and hatter. It's cheaper for me just to make our own hats, since so many of us wear a variety of them in order to bring our shows to life. And we've done so much over the years of which Carrie and I are proud, and a smattering of things of which we are very much not, and given legs to world premiere productions of our own devising, which have gone on to be produced around the globe. We've come a very long way since our first original play, mounted on a high school stage in the summertime. And now, on to the reason you're really here, the dramatized live stream reading at hand. In 2006, why does everything always sound so boring the instant you start out with a date? Here, let me see if I can add a hint of drama. In the year of our Lord 2006 was released The Hamiltons, a talking picture of content most frightful, by one Mitch Altieri and another one Phil Flores. So two, I suppose, two better known as the Brothers Butcher. See? This is what happens when I don't get to act, but instead sit my attention-starved ass around and watch my rage kitties do it. Oh, so unfair. Back to my friends, the Butcher Brothers. In 2006, their award-winning independent horror piece, The Hamiltons, was part of the very first After Dark Horrorfest, also known as 8 Films to Die For. When I first saw it, I fell in love and was immediately struck by how much it flowed like a stage play. At first, the idea of adapting it was the furthest thing from my mind. I never thought that I could actually reach them, or if I did, that they'd be interested in such a prospect. But slowly and naggingly, the notion began to germinate, and I decided to roll the dice. I'd made several failed attempts to reach them, but on July 27, 2010, I didn't begin the sentence with a date this time, so cut me some slack. I started what would become a fruitful exchange with an indeed interested Mitch Altieri, which would culminate in the script adaptation and ultimately full production of a stage play based on their film. It was my first screen-to-stage adaptation, and when it celebrated its world premiere on You Know It's Coming, so suck it up, October 21st, 2011, it was enthusiastically well received. Little did I know that this fantastic experience would pave the way for me to adapt Tom Holland's Fright Night 7 years later. The Hamiltons, by the Butcher Brothers, is a clever, genre-bending horror tale which immediately captured my imagination. I'm deeply honored that they placed their story in my hands, never once looking over my shoulder, and trusted that I would create a live incarnation that did its screen counterpart justice. From their first reactions upon seeing it, it seems like I achieved that. I wanted to begin our 20th anniversary with a reading of this particular play because it's one of my favorites and among those of which I'm most proud. And now, a few words from the Butcher Brothers themselves, Mitch Altieri and Phil Flores.
Thank you, Jim. Hey, I'm Mitchell Altieri.
I'm Phil Flores.
And we're the Butcher Brothers. And we are really thankful and grateful to have you guys listen to the live stream of the Hamiltons. We're really excited.
Yeah, I think it was about 10 years ago. Jim reached out to Mitch. I can't remember if it was a random Facebook or how it was, or just a
something like that
phone call, because that's all he did back then. 10 years ago, people just called you on the phone. It was a party line. He called you on a party line with the other Rage of the Stage players, and he said, I want to make this film The Hamiltons into a play, and we were actually blown away. We were excited.
Yeah, it was it was quite interesting. Phil and I have been making films for quite some time now, and I have to say, having one of your films turned into a play is just really cool, and it's quite an honor. And so when Jim reached out to us, it was kind of different. We usually get calls about look at the script, or would you be interested in making this movie? But to have a play, one of your works, and the Hamiltons is something very dear to our hearts, was just a really great experience. And so we kind of did our due diligence and reached out to our distributor Lionsgate, and next thing we knew, we got the okay, and Jim was off and running, and lo and behold, a little time later, we got a pretty cool DVD in the mail.
Yeah, I feel like we got some of the original cast together, and we watched it. Remember there was a dark room involved, watching people in a dark room. We were just, like I said, it's just amazing. It's like watching a video of your life played by other people. And like I said, it's dear to our hearts. It's a coming of age story that the story, we weren't intending to write a horror film necessarily right away, or maybe we were intending to write a horror film but not a coming of age film. And Mitch and I come from like a coming of age background. We were just raised on that material, and so we built this story, I almost say subconsciously, and it turned out to be the Hamiltons, and we didn't know that where it would go at all. We thought we were making this tiny little film and see what happens, and we're very, very fortunate that it got picked up and it turned into what it was, and then Jim got to see it out in the theaters or wherever he saw it on DVD. It's cool to see it come to life again 10 years later, and
absolutely
have all the rage of the stagers make it come back to life. I think one cool little thing that Mitch and I were just talking about before we jumped on was that the script was sent to Jim, but that was not what we ended up editing and turned into a film. So the film's slightly different than what the script that Jim has. So there's some parts in there like hot pants and Mike, who did not make the cut, but did make the cut in the script. So it's kind of fun to see them come alive again.
Absolutely.
Can't wait to see what Hot Pants is up to, honestly, tonight.
Yeah, it's really cool. And then, to see it, 10 years later, to get a call from Jim again and say, hey, we're doing this for our 20th anniversary, directly after they just did Fright Night and had Tom Holland and that group of people, doing a live stream of that film, and then to have ours next is quite an honor. Obviously, Phil and I have mad respect for Tom Holland. He's an amazing director, and Fright Night very much is a big inspiration to films like ours. Here we are in 2021, and very excited to see what the players are going to do.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. The curtain's about to come up, and in the voice of Wendell Hamilton, and now the rage of the stage players presents The Hamiltons.
The Hamiltons, a play by James Michael Schoberg, based on the motion picture written and directed by the Butcher Brothers. Cast of characters: Diane Witham Masters, narrator;
Joseph Bricker, Francis Hamilton;
Alyssa Kostick, Darlene Hamilton;
Ryan Ott, Wendell Hamilton;
Andrew Long, David Hamilton;
Harry Schoberg, Samantha Teal;
Paige Moody, Jenna Smith;
Cassie McConnell, Kitty Davies;
Dave Joseph, Paul Glenn; Eric Thompson, Mike number 1, and Alan Davies.
Peter Petrini, Mike 2, and Hot Pants.
Bill Herring, Larry Davies.
Amanda Enlight, Danny Cummings.
Act 1, Scene 1. Setting, a small town in Northern California. At Rise, a dimly lit basement is seen. It is strewn with various items which befit the location, including boxes and clutter on the floor. There is also a large, blood-stained butcher's block table with 2 leather straps attached to each end. After a moment, Danny Cummings, a disheveled but attractive young woman, bolts upright from the refuse on the floor and into the sitting position. She tries to scream, but a gag has been placed over her mouth. Hands are bound behind her back as well. She sobs hysterically and calls out incoherently through the tape.
Trevor?
As her eyes begin to acclimate themselves to the lack of light, she stops and notices several large bundles, not yet revealed to be victims, wrapped in sheets of plastic on the floor nearby. Danny struggles with her wrist restraints and eventually frees her hands. She removes the gag from her mouth as well.
Trevor?
She slowly crosses toward the bundles before her.
No. No.
She reaches the nearest bundle and pulls back the plastic, revealing the half-naked and bloodied body of her boyfriend, Trevor.
No, Trevor!
She collapses on the body, cradles his head in her hands, and cries.
Oh, God. Trevor, baby. No.
Danny hears the sound of something shifting and scratching from behind a reinforced, chained wooden door set into one of the walls. This is referred to as the box. The door has a smaller door set into the base of it. She looks at the full-sized door and sees that it is chained and locked.
Hello? Is someone there?
Still dazed, she makes her way over to the door.
Is there someone alive in there?
She bangs softly on the door with the palm of her hand. The sound of soft, indistinct whispering is heard from the other side.
Is there someone alive in there?
She places her ear against the door.
Hey, are you okay? Are you okay? I'm gonna get you out of there.
Something slams hard into the door on the other side.
Hold on, I'm gonna get you out.
Danny looks around for something with which to break the lock. She sees a length of pipe, grabs hold of it, and tries to slide it between the lock and the bolt. She pulls it back with all of her strength, but cannot break it. Instead, the pipe slips and she cuts her hand.
Fuck!
A strange and more menacing sound builds from the other side, and then something begins to slam into the door repeatedly. Danny begins to scramble backward across the floor and bumps into Trevor's body.
No, Trevor! Where are we? Stop! Stop! No, please, no! Leave me alone!
Fade to black.
Who are you? What are you?
Act 1, Scene 2. Before the lights rise, the voice of Francis is heard in the blackout.
What does it mean to be happy?
The lights rise on Francis Hamilton. He is sitting on his bed, staring at the flip screen on his camcorder.
To be content in the world around you. Mom used to say it was family. That family was the heart of everything, even existence. Without it, there is nothing. She would always have these simple answers that somehow would sound so brilliant. And then she died. My father died along with her. Shortly after that, my brother David had to sell the farm where we grew up. Now we're just trying to be an ordinary family, trying to figure out where we fit in the world. For me, I'm just trying to figure out where I belong right now, in this exact moment.
The lights rise on the living room of the Hamilton house. David Hamilton, the eldest sibling, enters with a laundry basket full of clothes.
I don't want to hear that, Darlene.
Darlene Hamilton, in her Gothic attire, enters close behind. David crosses to the couch and picks up some more clothing items, which have been carelessly strewn about.
The social worker will be here tomorrow. We can't have the place looking like this.
Whatever you say, Dad.
Oh, that's not funny, Darlene, okay? I'm just trying to do the best I can here.
Jesus, you know, I'm not a little girl anymore. You don't have to be such a dick about this.
The lights fade on Francis's room as he enters and crosses toward David and Darlene. He is watching them on the flip screen of his camcorder.
Can you just please clean your room, Darlene? And maybe not wear that mess on your eyes tomorrow?
Fuck you, David.
Darlene storms off stage. David notices Francis filming him.
Francis, turn it off now.
Come on, David, it's a school project.
Just not our personal stuff, okay?
It's about our family. I need this kind of stuff.
Turn it off now. You just get the heck out of my face for a second.
Fine. But you better watch the language, David. I'm still impressionable.
Francis exits.
Cut me a break, Francis. I'm just trying to keep things together around here.
Fade to black. Act 1, Scene 3. The lights rise on a local bar. Samantha Teal and Jenna Smith, two attractive young women on a trip, sit at the bar drinking and talking with one another. Samantha is studying a train schedule.
The 46 train to Seattle doesn't leave till 5:30 a.m. That's the first one.
Seattle sounds fun.
There's a 6:30 a.m. to Reno.
I kind of always wanted to see Seattle.
Mic number 1 and mic number 2, two bar creeps, enter and cross to the bar where Samantha and Jenna are sitting. Mic number 2 is tightly holding a paper bag, which appears to be moving.
Well, hello, ladies. I'm Mike, and this is my buddy, Mike.
Hi.
Mike and Mike. That makes it easy.
Easy is the way that we like it.
Mike, was it? What you got in the bag there? Roofies, chloroform?
Baby mice.
Kinky. And why on earth are you in a bar holding a bag of baby mice?
We're gonna feed them to my pet snake. You girls wanna come over and watch? Come see my pet snake?
It's pretty amazing.
Well, congratulations, Mike. Mike here. It is Mike, right?
Yeah, Mike.
Mike here sure seems to be impressed.
So, you want us to come to your house so we can see your pet snake?
Have you stopped and thought about what that sounds like, Mike?
Really?
So, can we buy you ladies a drink?
We're fine.
Now, don't be rude.
We're fine, really.
So, you girls from out of town?
From back east.
Mic number 1 admires their chests.
Looks like they grow them really nice out there. Wouldn't you say, Mike?
We just go to school there.
Wendell Hamilton enters holding a beer and crosses toward the bar.
Schoolgirls, huh?
Wendell sees that Samantha and Jenna are being harassed and leans up against the bar next to Jenna. Number 1 sees him and nods his head toward Wendell to signal that he's invading another man's territory.
Can we help you, friend?
Just came over to talk to my cousin, if that's all right with you, friend.
Your cousin.
You didn't really think these lovely ladies came to a place like this alone, did you? That'd be blood in the water for some lowlife looking to score.
Mike number 1 stares at Wendell, trying to figure him out. Wendell glares back, motionless.
Well, ladies, we gotta get going. Come on, Mike.
We're still gonna feed the snake, right?
Night, Mike.
Jenna turns her attention to Wendell and smiles.
Well, I'm bummed out.
Yeah? And why's that?
We're related, so everything running through my mind right now is totally illegal.
Well, in this state, at least.
I'm Jenna. This is Sam. But I'm Jenna.
Subtle.
Wendell,
Thanks for helping out with Mike and Mike.
don't mention it. You guys are always in here, pestering somebody. Well, see you around.
Hey, can we get you a drink, at least? You know, for the effort.
Sure. Okay. Why not?
Then pull up a stool, cuz.
Fade to black. Act 1, Scene 4. Before the lights rise, the voice of Darlene can be heard in the blackout.
Francis.
The lights rise on Francis's bedroom. He is lying on his bed on top of the covers. He sits up with a start. Darlene is brooding over him. Kitty Davies, Darlene's friend, is standing nearby.
Francis.
Darlene leans down and licks his ear seductively with the tip of her tongue. Francis stirs a little.
Wake up, sweetie.
She giggles and looks back at Kitty, who giggles as well. Darlene turns her attention back toward Francis, and the smile leaves her face. She pounces on him.
Get up, you little douchebag!
She holds him down. Darlene is wearing a tight black outfit and has fake blood running out of her mouth over her ghostly pale makeup.
Great, you're still awake. You remember my friend Kitty?
Francis sees Kitty. She is dressed similarly to Darlene, except she has a fake slash across her neck that looks like her throat's been cut open.
Hi, Francis.
What are you doing? Why are you in my room?
Darlene motions her head toward Kitty.
What do you think of my latest project, Franny? She just moved here. From Hawaii.
Francis frees himself from her grip, but she remains on top of him.
What do you want, Darlene?
Francis, please, we have a guest. Doesn't mean to be rude, Kitty. Baby Fwanny's just cranky because hims ain't been sleeping very well.
She casts a glance back at Kitty and places her hand on her face as if she had a toothache.
Him's teething. Huh, Fwanny?
What do you want, Darlene?
Why do you always think I want something, baby brother?
Darlene sits down on the edge of the bed.
Got any smokes?
I don't smoke.
Don't be a pussy. I know you smoke.
I don't smoke.
Are you afraid David will get mad at you? Prince Tragic.
No.
Then give me the fucking smokes, Francis!
Francis reaches underneath his mattress and pulls out a pack of cigarettes. He flips open the pack and begins to pull out a couple.
Thanks again, sweetie. We're driving down to the city to go dancing. See you in the morning.
Why don't you buy your own fucking smokes?
Darlene tousles Francis's hair.
And what fun would that be?
He knocks her hand away.
Bye, Francis.
Yeah, whatever.
The lights crossfade from Francis's bedroom to the living room, where David is cleaning up and grumbling to himself.
Why bother trying to keep this place in order, David? They don't care. They don't even notice. Maybe you should just treat yourself to a week off. How does that sound? Then they'd see. Oh, yeah. Then they'd see.
Darlene and Kitty enter the living room. They pass David as they cross to exit on the opposite side.
Bye, David.
David does not look up from his work.
Bye, Darlene.
Yeah, bye. David.
Goodbye, girl whom I've never seen before now.
Darlene, your brothers are so cute.
Wait till you see Wendell.
You be sure to be back by what time is it? Hey, Darlene, Darlene!
Francis appears in the doorway of his bedroom. He is holding his camcorder, which is fixed on David. The lights fade, except for two areas, one where David continues to clean up and pantomime, and the other where Francis studies David unnoticed.
My brother David is the oldest. He picked up all the responsibilities after Mom and Dad died. We used to be really close. But after he sold our farm, something changed in him. He became like one of those life-sized cardboard cutouts you see in the stores, trying to sell the idea that everything's perfect, but really nothing is the same anymore. We just keep moving from town to town, running from the truth. This is our 6th house in 2 years.
Fade to black. Act 1, Scene 5. The lights rise on an outdoor area where Wendell is drinking beer with Samantha and Jenna.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Every single one of them.
Wow, that's cool.
Wendell puts his arm around Jenna and pulls her close. They begin to kiss. Samantha stands in response to the awkward situation.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go pee.
No, wait.
I gotta go.
Jenna grabs Samantha's sleeve.
No, come on.
Sam, stay.
I'm gonna go. I'll be right back.
Jenna puts her arms around Wendell's neck.
Won't take too long.
I won't.
Samantha exits. As she does, Jenna aggressively climbs onto Wendell's lap. Wendell pulls off his shirt and they continue to kiss as he struggles to quickly unzip his pants. He removes Jenna's shirt, exposing her bare breasts, while she undulates up and down on him. Both of them are breathing heavily. There is a roll of thunder. The lights fade to black. After a moment, the lights rise again on a now disheveled Wendell and Jenna, who are sitting and smoking joints. Jenna calls off stage.
Sam, get your ass over here. We're smoking joints.
Samantha enters.
So, did you guys have fun? You are glowing.
No, I am not.
So, Wendell, what do you do?
I work for my brother, fetch stuff for him, things like that. Nothing too exciting though.
Sounds cool.
So, where are you guys up to next, huh?
Seattle, I think.
We're just gonna keep traveling city to city till we run out of money.
Can't be that kind of freedom.
No, we just packed up and left. Nobody even knows where we're at.
Ash?
What? We don't have to worry about Wendell, our hero.
Superman.
Wow. Look at that. Look at all those pretty stars.
Where?
I think you mean raindrops. It's beautiful. Come on.
Oh, hell no, girl. We have to get in the truck right now.
Come on. No. Do the rain dance.
Woo! Yep. Come on.
Wendell and Samantha drag Jenna up to join them. Samantha turns away and dances on her own. Wendell places his hands on either side of Jenna's face and kisses her passionately.
Wow. What was that for?
He then presses his forehead gently against hers as they sway.
Just your goodnight kiss.
Wendell headbutts Jenna hard, causing her to collapse unconscious on the ground. Samantha, who is still dancing with her back to them, doesn't see what has happened. Wendell calls to her as if alarmed.
Sam!
Samantha sees Jenna on the ground.
God, what happened? Jenna.
1 minute she was fine, and the next.
Wendell punches Samantha in the face, knocking her unconscious. He then points at her and smiles.
Yeah, just like that.
Lightning flashes, followed by a roll of thunder. Wendell looks upward and closes his eyes at the sound of rain as the sound of rain falling is heard. He runs his hands across his face as if enjoying the feel of the water.
I love the rain. I hope you ladies do too, because you are riding in the back.
Lightning flashes, followed by a roll of thunder. Fade to black. Act 1, Scene 6. Before the lights rise, a loud and jolting alarm clock buzzer is heard. The lights rise on the kitchen. Francis enters, groggy and still wearing the clothes from the previous night. He is holding his camcorder. He sits at the table and begins to read a newspaper. David enters, wearing an apron over his work clothes. He is holding a knife and fork in one hand and a plate with bacon, eggs, and toast on it in the other. He places them in front of Francis, who makes an expression of disgust before pushing the plate away from him.
You can at least pretend to like it, okay? Hey, I'm sorry for yelling at you yesterday. I didn't mean to. We good?
Yeah, we're good. But Dave, I'm not feeling too hot today.
No. You're going to school, okay?
David, please.
No, I don't want to hear it. You're going to school.
Darlene enters.
Good morning, sleepyhead.
Darlene takes Francis's coffee from him.
Thanks. You know I don't take sugar.
You want some breakfast?
Why do you even bother?
Because that's what families do. They have breakfast together.
Thank you, David. Anyway, Kitty's spending the night tomorrow.
Who's
I'm telling you in advance, just like you asked.
Darlene exits without allowing David to respond. David looks over at Francis and thinks for a second.
Who the heck is Kitty?
I don't know, some chick from Ohio.
Oh, yes, last night. Oh, remember, the social worker is coming tonight at 5 for dinner.
Francis stares at the breakfast plate.
You should really try giving up cooking, David.
David picks up a piece of bacon and takes a bite. He makes a disgusted face and then drops it back onto the plate.
Right. I'm off. You go to school.
I really don't fit in there.
Look, I know it's hard for you. Can you please at least try?
Why? It's not my fault we're always moving.
Francis lifts the newspaper. Wendell enters, hungover, wearing just his underwear. He is holding a shirt. He yawns and starts putting on his shirt.
You're right, Francis.
He pulls the paper down to look Francis in the face.
It's my fault. I'm sorry, guys. I tend to have a bad temper. Some even say I could be bipolar. Morning there, Francis. How you doing there, bud, huh? What are you reading? Gay sperm donors needed for lesbian couple. You calling that today?
Put on some pants.
Whoa. Eyes above the equator, Mary. I know I'm sexy, but no boners before the breakfast table, okay?
Knock it off, Wendell. Have you fed Lenny?
Don't look at me. Look at Franny.
Come on. Come on, I did it 2 days ago.
Okay, I gotta go to work. Francis, will you please just do it?
Do it before I go to school.
Oh yeah, you gotta go do your thing. Forgot. Sorry. Have fun. Have a good day.
Lights rise on another area of the stage into which Wendell crosses. There are now only 2 illuminated areas on stage, one where Wendell stands and the kitchen. Darlene enters the illuminated area with Wendell. She's holding his jeans.
Hey, gorgeous. If you plan on leaving the house, I think you're going to need these.
Darlene tosses the jeans to Wendell.
Though it's a crime to ruin the view.
One of my lesser offenses.
Not from where I'm standing.
Francis picks up his camcorder and begins to study Wendell and Darlene, unnoticed. Wendell pulls on his jeans. His shirt hangs open.
The twins. They've always been distant from the rest of the family. Wendell is the main reason why we move a lot. He just got out of jail for biting some guy's ear off at a Cheesy Chuck's pizza parlor up north. Darlene is just as mean, but more refined. Like when we were kids, she used to lock me in the closet just to hear me scream. Then hours later, she would let me out, pretending she was the one who saved me. And I always fell for it.
Both areas crossfade to the basement. Samantha and Jenna are both gagged, filthy, and hanging by their wrists behind a chain link gate. Sam begins to stir and notices Jenna hanging next to her. She screams through her gag.
Jenna! Help us! Please help us!
Fade to black. Act 1, Scene 7. The lights rise on the living room. David is sitting on the couch with Paul Glenn, Francis's social worker. The 2 of them are enjoying after-dinner drinks. Francis is slumped in a nearby chair.
Oh, heck no. You know, we've had a lot of social workers come here, but you're the first for dinner.
So, Francis, what's up with you tonight, huh?
Nothing.
Anything you want to talk about? Anything at all? School, maybe? Well, if there is, you just jump right in, all right?
Yeah, he told me he wasn't feeling too well this morning.
Darlene, who has accentuated her gothic appearance even further for the evening, enters with a tray of desserts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Darlene holds the tray in front of Paul. He takes a plate, a fork, and a napkin.
Thank you. Thank you, Darlene.
Darlene holds the tray out in front of David.
Thanks.
Darlene looks at Francis.
You didn't eat much at dinner there, champ. But since it's a special night, you can still have some dessert if you want.
No.
Francis?
No. Thank you, Darlene.
It's okay, David. I understand.
She turns to Paul.
He's on his period.
Darlene sets the tray down on the coffee table and takes her plate, fork, and napkin. She sits on the arm of the couch.
That's quite a creative look you've got going on there, young lady. What do you call that?
Death.
Death. Yeah, that's cute. So tell me, David, are you and Wendell still working over at Del Rancho?
Yes, it's actually the busiest time of year for us.
You know, I don't mean to poke fun, but I don't know if I could work in a slaughterhouse.
Yeah, well, my father owned a farm when we were younger, and he did the same thing. So I guess it just came naturally.
Wow. So, like, what do they have you doing over there? I mean, you don't have to like kill the animals and all that stuff, do you?
Oh, heavens, no. I'm a carver. I take out the organs, I prep them, stuff like that.
Yes, David has a real knack for gutting the life out of things.
Thank you, Darlene.
Too bad there's not a demand on the black market for cow parts. You'd be a rich man, wouldn't you?
Francis pulls out his camcorder.
Not now, Francis. I apologize, Paul. He's been following us around with that thing for the past few days, some sort of school project or something or other.
No. That's fine with me. I think it's kind of cool. Francis, tell me about the project.
Well, it's supposed to write a report about my family, our family, and I just asked if I could shoot a video instead.
Good. Now that is a great idea. I hated doing papers. I hated it. I really did.
Wendell enters.
Hey, gang.
Hey, Wendell. How are you?
Good, Paul. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Am I late?
What do you think, Wendell?
What? No dessert for me, sis?
That's what happens when you don't show up for dinner, Wendell.
I'm sorry, everyone. David, Darlene, young Francis, and of course you, Paul, our honored guest. I never meant to hurt any of you.
Wendell.
Well, that's a start. Maybe just a bite.
She feeds him some of her dessert.
Hmm.
Wendell closes his eyes and slowly slides his lips off the fork. Darlene dabs his mouth with her napkin. David looks uneasily at Paul, smiles, and shrugs.
Twins.
I can see they're close.
David, may I please be excused?
Francis, we have company.
No. Let the boy go. He's probably bored out of his mind.
Francis stands and starts to exit. Wendell taunts him as Francis passes by.
Where are you going, Francis?
Francis ignores him. Wendell sits down in Francis's chair.
I used to have younger brothers, so I understand these things.
Oh, they are a handful.
The lights crossfade to the bathroom where Francis is kneeling in front of the toilet, vomiting. After a moment, the vomiting wanes, and he slumps to one side of the toilet, breathing heavily. He clutches his stomach in pain. Crossfade back to the living room.
That was great, you guys. Thanks a lot.
Oh, I know I'm not much of a cook, but I try.
Oh, not to worry. You probably never tried my wife's cooking, huh?
Well, I'll be in the kitchen. Cleaning.
The lights rise on the basement.
Did you hear that?
Oh, it's probably cats. Fucking.
The lights fade on the basement.
Yep, that's cats fucking all right. Getting after it. What do you think, David?
Who'd have thought?
I'm just glad you have younger brothers, so you understand.
Look, I don't want to sound condescending, David, but I'm proud of you. A young man like yourself raising his family after losing both your parents. You're doing a real good job.
Thanks, Paul.
Look, I just need you to keep after Francis about school.
I do. We just went through it this morning. He's a good kid, just awkward with people. He never really had any friends.
You guys moved here a little over a year ago?
Roughly. Last couple of places really didn't work out for us, but I'm hoping this is it.
Well, he should start coming around, just give it some time.
I'll keep on him. It's just that it's almost been 4 years since Mom and Dad passed, and yet he seems to be holding on, especially to our mother, and those are shoes that I can't fill.
Look, you're doing just fine. Well, that was a great dinner, gents, but I have to be on my way.
Thank you.
No, thank you for the hospitality.
Wendell, go get Francis. Tell him Paul's leaving.
No, that won't be necessary. Leave him be. Poor kid's under the weather. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, yeah.
Thanks, David.
Good night, Paul.
Good night, David. Wendell. Good night, Darlene. Thanks again.
Darlene enters.
Bye, Paul.
Paul crosses to the front door, begins to exit, and then turns back.
Cats fucking.
Paul exits.
We need more padding on that south wall. All right, so are you sure they're good?
I'm positive. On a road trip. It's gonna be 2-3 weeks before anyone notices.
Healthy?
Oh yeah. I even took one for a test drive.
Quit acting up, all right? I don't want their faces showing up on the 10 o'clock news like last time.
Trust me.
All right, let's get to work.
Fade to black. Act 1, Scene 8. The lights rise on the basement. David and Wendell enter. David is carrying a large bag with handles. He sets it on the floor next to the blood-stained butcher's block table.
Room service! How we holding up, girls? Good? Well, you're looking good. Hi!
Wendell unlocks and opens the gate.
I hope this doesn't change anything between us.
Wendell, what did I tell you?
Wendell unhooks Jenna.
Come on, sweetheart.
David and Wendell try to pick her up.
Stop it! Stop it!
Baby, come on. Get you up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, God!
Don't worry, Sam. I still got something for you right here, okay?
David and Wendell pick her up.
All right, let's get you up, huh?
They set her down on the blood-stained butcher's block table.
Let's tie you down here.
They strap down her hands and feet.
Get you down here. Woo! Is that too tight, sweetie? Hey.
Sounds like he's changing.
Wendell approaches the door.
Hey, Lenny? Huh? Poor guy's probably hungry.
We'll feed him later. Go keep watch.
Wendell moves around to Jenna's head and strokes her hair.
Shh. I'll tuck you in later, okay?
He kisses her on the forehead as she sobs.
Okay.
Oh, please.
Wendell exits. David produces a large needle, rubber tubing, and empty blood bags.
Now, I won't lie to you. This is going to hurt.
No.
Fade to black. Act 1, Scene 9. The lights rise on an area outside of the house. Francis has a backpack over his shoulder and his camcorder in his hand. He's leaving for school. towards the illuminated area.
Come on, Francis. I'll give you a ride to school.
I saw some stuff I want to shoot, Wendell.
Just get in the fucking truck!
Wendell catches him and turns him back.
You gotta pop your cherry, baby brother, huh? So you can quit moping around and playing with that camera.
Wendell grabs Francis by the chin and squeezes hard.
Hey, what? You too good to talk to me now? You better grow up, little boy.
Fuck you, Wendell.
Wendell begins to strike Francis in the head repeatedly.
Hey, keep it up, Francis. Keep it up. We take care of your sorry little ass, all right? We feed you, put fucking clothes on your back, and you do nothing in return but complain. Dude, I know it fucking seems fucked up, but we do what we do to, well, you know why, Francis. If you do anything to fuck up our family, most importantly me, I'll fucking kill you, okay? Hey, okay? Get the fuck away from my truck!
The lights cross-fade from the outside of the Hamiltons' house to the basement. Darlene is sitting by the chained wooden door.
Baby mine, don't you cry. Baby mine, dry your eyes. Rest your head close to my heart. Never depart, baby of mine.
Jenna is once again hanging next to Samantha. Samantha stirs, realizes where she is, and begins to cry. Darlene stands. She crosses to the chain link gate, reaches through it, and caresses Samantha's face.
Shut the fuck up before I gut you myself.
Darlene abruptly and viciously rakes her nails across Samantha's neck, digging deep into the flesh. Her fingertips are covered with blood, as is Samantha's neck. Samantha tenses from the pain. Darlene examines her fingertips, looks over at the chained wooden door, and smiles. She walks to the door, kneels, leans in close to it.
Bye, Lenny. Be back later, okay?
An unsettling yet sedate noise is heard from behind the door, which rattles just a little. Darlene then wipes the blood from her hand onto the front of the door. She stands. The noise heard from behind the door begins to change and grow more savage. Something begins to slam hard into the door repeatedly. Darlene crosses back to the chain link gate. She smiles cordially at Samantha.
I think he likes you.
Darlene exits. Fade to black. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. The lights rise on the kitchen.
Hello? Anybody home?
Francis enters with his backpack and camcorder and looks around.
Hello?
He sets the bag and camcorder on the table and exits in the same direction he entered. After a moment, he enters once again, this time holding a cordless phone. He dials a number and waits.
Yes, hello. This is David Hamilton. I'm calling on behalf of Francis Hamilton. Yes, yeah. He's not feeling too well. Got a case of the flu or something. Yeah, right. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Francis looks down at his camcorder sitting on the table. He thinks for a moment, picks it up along with his backpack, and exits. The lights crossfade from the kitchen to the basement. Francis enters the basement area, crosses to the chain link gate, and stops to look at Samantha and Jenna, both of whom are unconscious. Jenna is very pale and has needle marks in her arms. Francis turns on his camcorder and begins to film them. As he focuses on Jenna, Samantha begins to wake, disoriented.
Please don't hurt her anymore.
I'm not like them.
And you can help us, please.
I'm sorry, but I can't. I don't even have a key.
Just help us, please.
I can give you something to drink. Do you want something to drink?
Samantha nods her head. Francis produces a bottle of soda from his backpack.
If I take off the gag, do you promise not to scream? I hope you don't mind. It's warm.
Francis reaches through the gate and pulls down her gag. Samantha coughs and Francis brings the soda to her lips. She gulps it.
Easy.
Can you please help us? Please.
I don't have a key.
Why are you doing this to us?
It's not me.
Francis, nervous, scrambles to collect his things.
I have to go. Someone will be here soon.
Please wait.
Francis reaches through the gate to put the gag back in her mouth. Tries to resist, but fails.
Please wait. Please.
Blackout. Act 2, Scene 2. The lights rise on Darlene's bedroom. Darlene is looking in the mirror, preening herself. Kitty is sitting on the bed. There is a nightstand next to it.
You do not, Darlene. Do you?
Grow up, Kitty.
Well, where is it? Is it big? Can I see it? I bet it's in your nightstand. The top drawer?
Darlene tries to stop Kitty from opening the top drawer of her nightstand.
No!
What the?
She reaches into the drawer and pulls out a handful of IDs and driver's licenses.
Told you it wasn't in there. Need a fake ID?
She crosses to the nightstand.
Where did you get all these?
I know a guy in the city. You want one? I won't charge you.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here we go. Danny Cummings. Oh, look, she's an organ donor. Sweet. She's about your height. Blonde hair. That's okay.
Wendell enters. He sizes up Kitty and looks at Darlene.
What are you little girls doing?
We're getting comfortable and throwing in a flick. You want to watch?
I'd love to watch.
The lights crossfade from Darlene's bedroom to the living room. Francis enters with his backpack over his shoulder and his camcorder in his hand. David enters.
Where were you, Francis?
I was just down by the granary along the river filming some stuff.
Pretty late, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well, I'm going out for a bit, so if you need anything.
All right.
All right. I'll see you later.
The lights crossfade from the living room to Darlene's bedroom. Darlene, Kitty, and Wendell each have a beer.
So, what are we gonna watch?
How about this?
She hands a movie to Kitty.
I don't know. I heard it's pretty scary.
It's just a movie, sweetheart. I thought you liked this kind of stuff.
I do. It's just these movies are too real sometimes.
Kitty, if monsters were real, it'd be a lot different than they are in the movies.
Well, I just can't stand being scared. Can't we play a game instead?
What kind of game?
Let's play Truth or Dare.
Around here, we only play dare or double dare. If you can handle it.
What about truth?
No truth. Dares just keep doubling until someone gets hurt.
Play nice, Wendell.
I am. Okay, Kitty. You can even go first.
All right. Dare or double dare?
Me?
If you can handle it.
Ooh. Dare.
I dare you to finish your beer in one drink.
Okay, my turn. Kitty, dare or double dare?
Double dare.
I double dare you to make out with Darlene.
What?
She takes a drink of her beer and looks at Darlene, who smiles. Kitty then looks back at Wendell.
You think I won't?
Well, if you don't, you lose. I mean, we could play Scrabble or something if you want.
Kitty looks at Darlene again, leans in, and kisses Darlene somewhat awkwardly at first, but Darlene kisses back passionately. After a few seconds, Kitty leans back and giggles.
Not bad. You surprise me.
I'm full of them.
Aren't we all? Okay, Kitty, it's your turn again.
All right. Darlene, dare or double dare?
Triple dare.
Triple dare? Come on.
Triple dare.
Okay. I triple dare you and Wendell to make out.
Huh? She and, oh, you can't be saying, you are a kinky little thing, aren't you?
I win.
I don't think so.
Wendell leans over and kisses Darlene. He makes out with his sister passionately. Wendell leans back, watching Kitty. Kitty is captivated and takes another drink.
I guess it's my turn, huh?
Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 3. The lights rise on a dim level on the living room. David enters quietly with Hot Pants, a young gay man, whom he's brought home with him. Hot Pants admires the house.
Beautiful house.
Thank you.
And the flowers?
He gestures toward a nearby fall floral arrangement.
This is sort of the fall foliage. Well, this is the wood, a woodland room.
This is nice.
He admires a framed picture on the wall.
I like that frame right there.
Thank you.
Nice work.
I picked it out myself.
Very nicely hung.
Yeah. We really shouldn't be here.
Why is that?
It's just trouble.
I promise I'll be good.
He takes David by the hand and lifts it up to his lips. Hot Pants begins to gently kiss David's wrist.
That is, unless you want me to be bad.
Francis enters by just a few steps. He is dressed for bed. He stops short, out of David and Hot Pants' sight, and watches them.
If we can go to your room, I'll be quiet. Can you be quiet?
Hot Pants points off stage as if to ask in which direction is David's room. Hot Pants begins to guide him off, but David suddenly stops.
I don't know. It's kind of...
Come on.
Okay. Just quiet, okay?
David and Hot Pants exit opposite Francis. Francis shakes his head and exits. The lights cross-fade to the basement. There's a loud bang on the chained wooden door, which startles Samantha awake. She looks over at Jenna. Jenna's body slowly rotates around. Her eyes are open, lifeless. Samantha recoils in horror at the sight of her dead friend. Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 4. The lights rise on the counter at a restaurant. Paul and Francis sit next to one another. Paul is eating and drinking coffee, while Francis is nursing a soda. Paul points to his plate with his fork.
You sure you don't want some? I'm buying. It's pretty good.
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
So, what did you want to talk about, huh? It's something to do with school? Something?
My fucking family just...
I'm sorry?
Yeah, Paul, it's school and stuff, you know? Teachers and stuff, you know?
You know, I don't know if I ever told you this, but my dad was an Army captain, and...
The sound of Francis's heartbeat is heard. It slowly rises in volume. Francis is distracted from what Paul is saying.
We moved from base to base, what seemed like, Christ, every year or so. So I know what it's like. Francis? Hey, I'm over here, pal. Francis. Yo, Francis. I'm over here. Hey, hello, Francis.
The sound of Francis's heartbeat stops abruptly. Francis snaps to attention.
Huh? I'm gonna go, Paul.
You sure?
Yeah, I got homework and stuff.
All right. Well, I'll stop by in a couple of days and check up on you.
Thanks.
You all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for the soda.
Sure. You take care, pal.
Francis exits.
Excuse me. Can I get some more coffee?
Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 5. The lights rise on the basement. The gate is open, and Wendell is standing before Samantha, filming her on Francis's camcorder. Jenna's body has since been removed, and her loose chains hang unoccupied. Francis enters and sees Wendell.
Wendell, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, hey. I didn't know you had a girlfriend. Seems really nice.
He holds up the camcorder.
Watched a little movie, too. Creepy. This is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. You don't mind sharing with the family, do you? Huh? You know, I don't give you enough credit, brother. You are one of us after all. He's pretty good looking, too. You know, I had this great idea, though. I was thinking that
Wendell slowly lifts up Samantha's shirt with one hand, following closely with the camcorder as he does.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. We can make our own porn movies down here if we want. What do you say, Sammy?
Nothing but crazy fucking garbage.
Sam, honey, let me take it out of your mouth before you try to talk. Hey, words to live by, am I right?
He pulls the gag out of her mouth.
Now, you were saying.
I said, you're nothing but crazy fucking garbage.
I'm sensing a lack of enthusiasm from you, Sam.
He grabs her head and forcibly turns it to face Francis.
Do you want to hurt my little brother's feelings? Look at him, he's a cute kid. You really wouldn't let him fuck you on camera? Be a sport. Oh, I get it. You greedy little slut. You're holding up for the both of us, aren't you? A little threesome action. Okay, I'm with you.
He looks at Francis.
Do you have a tripod for this thing? Because old Wendell's about to help you get an A on your report about family bonding.
He turns to Samantha, who spits in his face. He grabs her by the throat with his free hand.
Is this foreplay? Cool, I'm open.
He spits in her face and then begins to kiss her. Francis lunges at Wendell, grabbing him.
Bitch, huh?
Wendell shoves Francis to the ground and starts filming him with his own camcorder.
Come on, brother. Let's see what you got.
Francis comes to his feet and swings at Wendell. Wendell punches him in the stomach.
Oh, yeah. You fuck! Come on, bud. How do you like being the star for a change? Come on, Zigzag. Is that all you got? Is that all you got? That's what I thought, bitch.
Wendell turns to film Samantha's reaction.
Hey, Sam. How about your little hero now, huh? Huh?
Francis catches Wendell off guard and punches him.
Ow, fuck!
Wendell puts down the camera.
Come on. You want to show off for the fucking bitch? Huh? Huh? Well, now's your chance.
Francis charges one last time and Wendell grabs him.
Come on, Lenny. Come and get it.
Francis struggles as Wendell drags him to the chained wooden door.
Oh, God! Wendell, what are you doing?
Wendell slams Francis face first into the chained wooden door. Francis falls to the floor. Wendell unlocks the lock on the chain and opens the door just a little. He grabs Francis's arm and forces it inside.
Lenny! Come on, Lenny!
The sound of growling changes into something even more ferocious.
Wendell! No, stop, please!
Wendell releases him and Francis pulls back his hand, which is now bloody. Wendell secures the chained wooden door and looks down at Francis.
Fucking bitch. Hey, Sam.
He crosses to Samantha and then puts the gag back in her mouth.
Keep putting that shit in his head, little girl. I'll skin you both alive, all right?
Fuck you.
Wendell closes and locks the chain link gate.
Fuck you.
What was that? Excuse me? I'm sorry, I don't think I heard you right. I'll tell you what. Why don't you hang out here for a while? Then I'll come back down and we'll finish what we started, okay? Oh. And you can scream all you want to. Just know one thing. I am going to kill you. All right?
Francis is still on the floor, cradling his hand. Wendell exits. Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 6. The lights rise on the slaughterhouse where David is employed. Francis is standing alone, waiting for David. After a moment, David enters wearing a bloody apron. He is wiping blood from his hands with a rag.
Oh, well, they told me I had a visitor. What are you doing here, Francis? You know how busy it gets around this time. What happened to your hand?
Wendell?
I'm working here, Francis. You can't come here every time you two have a fight.
Yeah, but...
Now, I'm getting tired of this hullabaloo. Okay, Wendell? Wendell, school, I can't be with you 24 hours a day, bud.
I have no one else to talk to, David.
I'm working a double shift here, okay? Don't you think it's time you started trying to handle your own problems?
What would you do, huh?
Well, what do you want me to say?
Man, I just wish Mom and Dad were still...
dead. Francis, okay? When are you going to understand that? Just go home, Francis. We'll talk about this later.
No. You know what? Fuck you, David. Fuck you!
Francis clutches his stomach as if having a sharp pain. David comes to him quickly and places his hand on Francis's back.
Francis, are you all right?
I don't need your help. Don't even fucking worry about it.
Francis exits quickly.
Franny!
Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 7. The lights rise on the front door of the Hamiltons' house. The sound of knocking is heard. Wendell opens the front door wearing only jeans. Kitty is standing there holding an overnight bag. She reacts with embarrassment at the sight of Wendell.
Oh, hey, Wendell? Is Darlene home?
She's in her room.
Kitty steps into the living room and Wendell closes the door behind her.
So, what are you doing tonight? You know I'm spending the night again. Darlene?
She turns back to call to Wendell, unaware that he is directly behind her.
Hey, is she here?
No, actually, I meant she's coming back in a bit. No one's here.
Wendell stares at her.
It's just you and me.
Okay, well, I'll just come back later then.
Kitty tries to leave Darlene's room, but Wendell blocks her path.
Why not stay and wait here with Wendell?
I should probably just come back.
Kitty tries to cross past Wendell, but he blocks her path once again.
Really?
He begins to back her toward Darlene's bed.
What's the rush?
Kitty trips backward, dropping her overnight bag on the floor as she falls onto the bed. Wendell climbs on the bed and looms above her.
Anyone ever tell you, you smell absolutely delicious? Huh? I bet you taste even better.
Kitty pushes him back.
Hey, cut it out, Wendell. Let me up.
Darlene enters, crosses through the living room, and stops at the door to her room. She is amused by the sight of Wendell pinning Kitty on her bed.
Hi, guys.
Wendell rolls off Kitty, who sits up, and begins to straighten herself out. Darlene sees Kitty's overnight bag on the floor and gestures to it.
I guess you're spending the night, Kitty? Come on.
Kitty gets up and crosses to Darlene. She turns around and snaps at Wendell.
Wasn't funny, Wendell.
Don't be angry. It's just, well, gee whiz. I thought kitties were supposed to be playful.
Yeah, well, we don't like to play rough.
What a shame.
Twins!
Twins!
You two are so weird.
Kitty crosses past Darlene and exits her bedroom. Darlene looks at Wendell, pantomimes a kiss, and exits her bedroom. Wendell lies back on Darlene's bed with his hands behind his head. Lights crossfade to a single area where Francis stands.
Telling yourself that things will change, that this is all a bad dream, and one day you will wake up. I just wish that they would catch us, and then it would all be over.
Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 8. The lights rise on the basement. Samantha is trying to work her way out of her chains, but is desperately exhausted. She hears someone coming from outside and stops. Francis enters, holding a fast food bag.
Stay away from me.
Not going to hurt you.
No, you killed Jenna. You killed my friend.
I brought you some food. It's all I could afford.
Was that a joke? Just go away. Go away.
Something is heard moving behind the chained wooden door. Samantha looks over at the door and whimpers. Francis tries to be comforting.
Don't worry, it's just Lenny.
What's inside there?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
What is that thing? What's inside there?
Lenny.
You kill people and And you feed them to something you call Lenny?
We're not like you, okay? We're sick.
Yeah, you are sick. You are your whole fucking family.
I should go.
Francis turns to exit.
Wait. Can I have some of that food, please?
I'm really sorry about this and your friend.
Sam just stares at Francis. Anger and fear builds in her eyes, but also the realization that he may be her only chance for survival. She continues staring at him, trying to figure him out.
It's just, they'd kill me if they knew I was here.
He removes a sandwich from the bag and feeds it to her through the chain link gate. Samantha eats eagerly. Francis then feeds her some French fries.
Thank you. What's your name?
Francis?
Can I ask you something, Francis?
Yeah.
Why did you bring me food?
Because I'm not one of them.
Francis sits on a nearby crate.
They're going to kill me, Francis.
I know.
All you have to do is call the police. My family has money. They'll give you anything you need.
You don't understand. I can't.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Francis, I have people who love me, who need me. I just want to go home. I want to see my family.
What about my family? They're all I have.
They're killers, Francis.
I told you. You don't understand. I can't survive without them. I have to go.
I'm sorry, please. Just stay a little while longer. I'm sorry, Francis. Please stay.
Francis sits back down on the crate.
You're not like them?
Francis looks at the chained wooden door.
I don't know what I am.
Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 9. The lights rise to a dim level on the kitchen. Kitty enters, dressed for bed and drinking a glass of water. A strange sound is heard from off stage. Kitty stops for a moment.
Hello?
Kitty looks around. The house is quiet. Another strange sound is heard from off stage, this time louder.
Darlene? Wendell? Are you messing with me? This isn't funny, you guys!
A loud slam is heard. Startled, Kitty drops the glass and it shatters on the floor.
Damn it!
Kitty bends down to try and clean up the glass shards. She picks up a piece, cuts her finger, and winces. Darlene enters behind her unnoticed. She is also dressed for bed. Kitty stands, turns, and runs directly into Darlene.
God, you scared me!
Really?
Darlene sees blood dripping from Kitty's hand.
Let me see.
Darlene opens Kitty's hand and the blood starts running onto Darlene's.
Oh, did someone get a thorn in her paw? I'll kiss it and make it all better.
Darlene raises Kitty's finger to her mouth, kisses the cut gently, and then more passionately. Darlene finally starts to suck on Kitty's finger. Kitty snaps her hand back.
I'll just wash it off in the bathroom.
The lights crossfade from the kitchen to the bathroom as Kitty crosses to it. Darlene follows close behind. Kitty turns to Darlene.
Can you please turn on the sink for me? I don't want to get this everywhere.
That's a lot of blood.
Darlene, please!
Darlene sighs heavily and crosses past Kitty. Wendell appears in the doorway in only his underwear. Darlene stops short and greets her brother cheerfully, as if having sensed him without actually seeing him.
Hey, Wendell.
Kitty is confused. She turns and looks behind her. She's once again startled, this time by the unexpected appearance of Wendell.
Hey,
Kitty turns back to Darlene, confused.
How? How did you know he was?
Darlene turns back and smiles at Wendell over Kitty's shoulder.
Twin.
wait. Ooh, that's a nasty cut.
Yeah, well, Darlene is supposed to be helping me wash it off. Wendell, was that you fucking with me out in the hall?
Not me. Must have been Darlene.
Darlene steps toward Kitty.
Tell the truth, Wendell.
Wendell steps toward Kitty on the other side.
Truth or dare?
Darlene takes another step toward Kitty. She is now right next to her.
Ooh, you up for another game, Kitty?
Wendell takes another step toward Kitty. He is right next to her on the other side. He and Darlene have her closed in. They speak to one another as if Kitty was not between them at all.
Can I go first?
Be my guest, gorgeous.
Okay. Darlene, dare or double dare?
Kitty struggles between them. She is terrified.
Oh, I feel a little frisky tonight. How about double dare for an appetizer?
That's my girl. I double dare you to give Kitty a little seductive dance.
Wendell steps back to watch as Darlene begins to dance for Kitty, grinding against her.
Darlene, stop! Why are you doing this? Stop! I want to go home!
Darlene stops and lunges toward Kitty, takes her head in both hands and kisses her on the mouth, biting into her lip. Blood starts to run down Kitty's.
Double dare or triple dare, Kitty?
Kitty backs away right into Wendell.
I triple dare you to let Wendell kiss you on the lips.
Kitty tries to run.
Here, Kitty, Kitty, Kitty.
Wendell grabs Kitty's arm and turns her around to face him.
Come on, pussycat. Where you going, babe? Where you going, pussy?
Kitty, 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 kitty.
Wendell lunges forward just as fast as Darlene and kisses Kitty, also biting into her. More blood drips from Kitty's mouth. She pulls away from him and falls into the bathtub.
Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Now, it's your turn.
No! No! No!
There's no way out unless you play. Sorry, but them's the rules, pussycat.
And we're not finished with our game.
Kitty tries to cry out for help, but Wendell covers her mouth with his hand.
Shh. You've got to keep it down. You're a guest in this house after all, and people are trying to sleep.
Let's try to be considerate of others, okay?
Darlene and Wendell lunge into the bathtub, both biting into Kitty over and over with animalistic ferocity. Her screams give way to a choking death rattle. When Wendell and Darlene lean back up from the bathtub, their faces are covered in blood. They look at each other for a moment and then passionately kiss, sharing Kitty's blood. Darlene runs her tongue up Wendell's bare chest, savoring the gore, which is dripping down from his mouth. She continues up his neck as he tilts his head upward. When she reaches his mouth, they begin to kiss again. After another moment, they break, and Darlene turns, leaning back into Wendell's arms. They look down at the lifeless body of Kitty.
David is not going to be happy.
Fuck him.
Wendell turns her head up to face him.
Fuck you.
Darlene slides her hand down into Wendell's underwear, looking down as she does. She looks back up in time to see him respond with intense pleasure, closing his eyes, moaning.
Always the romantic.
Darlene pulls her hand out of Wendell's underwear, turns, throws her arms around his neck, and presses her lips firmly against his. They fall to the bathroom floor, kissing and clawing at one another. Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 10. The lights rise on the basement. Francis is sitting on the floor, leaning against the wall, sleeping. He begins to wake and realize that he's been there all night. He looks at Samantha and rubs his eyes.
How long have I been out?
Not long. An hour or two.
Francis stands.
Somebody will be here soon. I should go.
Francis, you're leaving me here to die. I can help you out there. I can help you out there without your family. You don't need them. Francis, I'll take care of you. I'll take care of you, please. Francis.
Thank you for talking to me.
Francis turns to exit.
I'm sorry, but
Francis, they're going to kill me.
Francis stops and looks over his shoulder at her. Francis exits. Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 11. The lights rise on the front door of the Hamiltons' house. The sound of knocking is heard. David opens the front door. Alan Davies, a security guard, is standing there in uniform. David thinks that Alan is a police officer, as does Alan, who takes himself very seriously.
Hey, Dad, over here.
Alan
Did you know your redwood is in violation of the neighborhood safety code?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Larry Davies, Alan's father, enters.
That's a good job, son. Hi, I'm Larry Davies, Kitty's uncle.
He shakes hands with David.
Kitty is Darlene's friend.
Yeah, sure.
And this is my son, Alan.
Alan pats his gun.
Lieutenant Commander Davies, private sector.
Larry elbows Alan and nods in David's direction. Alan realizes that he himself has not shaken hands with David and then does so firmly.
David Hamilton.
Just for your information, Kitty's going to be staying with us for a college semester. So if you see her around, that's why.
Is everything all right?
David looks at Alan and then to Larry.
Well, yeah, look, I'm sure it's nothing. We're just a little worried, that's all. We haven't heard from her all day, and she's not answering her cell phone. Is she here by chance?
Unfortunately, no one's here, and Darlene doesn't have a phone. Brain tumors.
Huh. That's strange, it's just not like her. She said she was going to be spending the night here last night with Darlene, and she knew we had plans for this morning.
I put a couple calls into some friends of mine down at the local sheriff's office, just in case. But if you hear from her, please call this number.
Alan produces a business card and hands it to David.
Of course, of course.
Hey, look, I know we're bothering you and all that, but we didn't have your number, so we just thought we'd pop on by and check. So if something turns up...
No, you just let me know if there is anything I can do.
Larry shakes hands with David again. Alan nods and touches the brim of his hat.
Take care.
Alan and Larry exit. David smiles, closes the front door, turns and walks into the living room, where Darlene sits on the couch with Wendell's head in her lap. She's playing with his hair. David stops, his smile fading, and glares at them.
What did you do?
They look back at him innocently.
What did you do?
Nothing, David. She left here this morning. We really haven't seen her since.
Oh, I cannot believe you two did this.
Oh, what about the dozen homos you have buried under the house?
Yes, Mr. Perfect. How do you explain that? Are you that blind in your make-believe world? You think we don't know?
I use my head.
So do I.
And well.
She leans down and kisses him once on the mouth.
I pick transients and drifters. Not some neighborhood girl whose cousin or brother or whatever is the police.
You know why you hate us so much, David?
Wendell snakes his way upward, wraps his arms around Darlene, rests his head on her shoulder, and looks at David.
It's because we represent everything you wish you could have, but are just too afraid to face.
God, you two always fuck it up.
Are you trying to scare us, David? Like when we were kids?
David, now furious, crosses toward them. Darlene and Wendell stand. Both look menacing and dangerous.
We're not little kids anymore. So, what are you gonna do, David?
David, realizing that he cannot win, stops and looks down at the floor. Wendell puts his hand under David's chin and lifts his head so that Wendell can look him into the eyes.
When are you going to realize this isn't the first time, and certainly not the last time it's going to happen? You can't have a perfect little life in a perfect little world, David.
Wendell slaps David on the cheek.
Pull it together.
Mom and Dad
were the exception. None of us have the kind of self-control to have what they did.
The only difference between you and us, David, is we don't look at ourselves in the mirror and lie. We know who we are. We accept who we are. We don't deny it.
But we have to move again. All right, just pack up what we need and let's...
Darlene and Wendell exit, disregarding David entirely. The lights crossfade to a payphone. Francis puts money into it and dials a telephone number on a business card he's holding. The sound of the telephone ringing is heard, followed by the voice of Paul's phone message.
Hi, this is Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Please leave your message at the sound of the tone. Don't forget to leave your phone number. Bye.
Paul, this is Francis. There's something really important we got to talk about my family. And I can't do it over the phone. If you could meet me in person, that'd be great. Fuck. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
He hangs up the receiver. Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 12. The light rise on the basement. David is carrying a large bag with handles and sets it on the floor next to the blood-stained butcher's block table. He crosses to the chain link gate on the cage, opens it, and Samantha, who tries to resist but is too weak. Still upset from the argument with Darlene and Wendell, roughly drags Samantha to the blood-stained butcher's block table. Impatient growls are heard coming from behind the chained wooden door, followed by a loud banging.
I know, Lenny, I know, it's coming.
David throws Samantha down on the table like a rag doll and straps her arms and legs to it. Samantha tries to fight, but can barely raise her arms.
Please sit still.
Samantha has lost all hope for herself. David opens his bag and pulls out a large needle, plastic tubing, and a blood bag. He sticks the needle into Samantha's arm and pushes on it. A drop of blood comes out, which he tastes. David then jabs an IV into Samantha's arm and begins draining her. She starts to cry weakly and shakes her head. Blood drains from her arm into a blood bag.
No.
More banging is heard coming from behind the chained wooden door. David looks over at it.
It's coming, Lenny.
David looks down at Samantha.
Actually, it's kind of funny. My father taught me how to do this. It's kooky, I know. He just wanted to make sure that if something ever happened to him, that we'd still survive.
David points to the tubing as blood travels through it.
Now, you got to get it just right so that no air gets in. It has a longer shelf life that way. It's kind of like frozen food.
Tears run down Samantha's face. Her eyes are filled with terror. David notices something on her face.
Oh, you have a little something on your face.
David produces a rag from his bag and wipes her face.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't mean to make you self-conscious or anything. David, he said, David, one day you might have to be the man of this family. David, he said, David, you might have to be the one that takes care of your brothers and sister. And, I do, but they don't care. You think they appreciate what I do for them? No.
Samantha turns her head away from him.
Look, Missy, I don't mean to be a rude cunt, but it sort of seems like you aren't listening to me. I just want what's best for them. I just want what's best for them.
Francis enters, grabs a nearby metal pipe, and quietly crosses to David from behind. As David turns around, Francis hits him in the head with the pipe and knocks him out. David collapses to the floor. Francis pulls the needle out of Samantha's arm. She is barely conscious. Francis picks her up in his arms, starts to exit, and then turns back to look at the box.
Bye, Lenny.
He carries Samantha out of the basement. The lights rise on the front steps of the Hamilton house. Paul Glenn enters and knocks on the door.
Francis! Hey, Francis, I got your message. Francis? David, are you home? Francis!
Paul looks around the house. The lights crossfade to the basement. Paul takes his keyring out of his pocket and switches on a mini flashlight connected to it. Paul trips over something. He flashes his light toward the floor, revealing bodies wrapped in plastic sheets, among which are Danny and Trevor. Paul puts his hand to his mouth in shock.
Jesus.
Paul hears moaning.
Hello?
As Paul's eyes adjust to the light, he switches off his mini flashlight. He sees David passed out on the floor. Paul crosses to him quietly and kneels beside him.
David, hello? David, are you all right?
He looks around the basement in horror.
What is this?
He returns his attention to David.
Hey, I'll try to get you out of here. Listen, I'm going to try to get
Paul
you out of here.
hears something shifting behind the chained wooden door.
So is somebody in there?
Paul crosses to the door and bangs on it. The sound of banging from the other side is heard in response. Paul looks around and then sees David's keys. He takes them and starts trying each one to open the lock on the door.
Hello?
Finally, the lock opens and slowly opens the door. It is too dark inside for him to see.
Hello? Are you okay?
Paul opens the door a little wider and sticks in his head.
Are you hiding in there? Look, it's going to be okay.
He tries to wedge his body in through the small doorway and finds himself stuck. David begins to regain consciousness. He looks around, dazed. Paul tries to back out of the door with no success. A low growling sound is heard.
Stop! What are you doing?
Lenny, no!
David gets up and, using all of his strength, pulls Paul out and shuts and locks the door. Paul's face is bloody. David looks away, saddened. Darlene and Wendell enter. David sits on the ground, distraught, with Paul's blood on him. He looks at Paul again. Paul wheezes, indicating he is still alive, but barely. Darlene steps over him.
Ooh, what happened? He's still alive? We can drain him.
Not him.
Aren't you the one who said they're just cattle to us and nothing else?
Just do what you want.
David touches the side of his head where Francis struck him.
Let me look at this.
Wendell examines David's head and then looks around.
Huh. So I guess he Took her with him. Fuck. I didn't know the little fucker had it in him. I'm actually kind of proud of the kid.
Yeah, well, he's going to get himself in trouble. He's right on the verge. We got to find him.
Maybe you should go after him. He looks up to you.
He likes to film along the river. I think I know where to find him.
Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 13. The lights rise on the granary along the river. Samantha is lying on the ground. Francis is huddled on the edge of the illuminated area, hiding in the shadows.
Will you still help me out there?
Francis, where are we?
We're hiding.
Are you okay? We should get some help, Francis.
She tries to get up and fails.
I need your help.
I can't come near you.
Francis, I can't hear you. What did you say, Francis?
You're bleeding.
Francis, you're scaring me.
There's something I need to tell you.
Please, just help me get up. We need to get help.
We're born, not made. Not like everybody thinks.
I don't understand. Please, Francis, please stop.
Not like the fucking movies. You have to go now.
Francis begins to crawl from the darkness, his head hanging low. Samantha shakes her head, terrified.
Francis, please, don't do this.
Blackout. After a moment, the lights rise again on Francis and Samantha, who is now dead. Francis is lying across her body, sobbing. David enters quietly.
Franny?
David crosses to Francis and kneels next to him.
Franny, I know. We all got to go through it our first time.
David puts his arm around him.
It's just the way it is, okay? I wish Mom and Dad were here to help you. The first time is always the hardest.
It just hurts so bad, David.
I know. It's a part of growing up for us, okay? It's what we are.
David lifts Francis's face up in his hands, revealing Francis's fangs. His mouth is covered with blood.
Just look at you, little brother. You're beautiful. You're so beautiful.
Francis hugs David tightly, and David holds him. Francis continues to cry in his brother's arms. A recording of the voice of Francis is heard over the scene.
What does it mean to be happy? To be content in the world around you? Is family the heart of everything? Even existence?
Fade to black. Act 2, Scene 14. The lights rise on the front steps of the Hamiltons' house. Francis is standing there holding his camcorder. He is looking at the flip screen while he films the house and everything around him. David enters and crosses to Francis.
So, what do we do now?
Well, we have to move again. The twins are packing up the house.
Darlene and Wendell enter carrying boxes. They shove past Francis and David.
Yes, the twins are packing up the house. Just the twins. Assholes.
We're leaving in a couple of hours.
What about Lenny?
Well, we'll have to bring him out of the box early.
Will he be okay?
We're brought out of the box early.
He reaches out and tousles Francis's hair playfully.
I was?
Yeah. See how you turned out?
David?
Yeah?
I'm sorry.
Me too, Francis.
Fade to black. After a moment, the lights rise on the basement. Francis, David, Darlene, and Wendell are all standing around the chained wooden door. There's a large metal dog cage in front of it with the gate open.
Guys, I really hate keeping him down here.
You know it's the way it's always been. He would have killed everything in sight.
Kind of like us.
Darlene smacks him on the arm.
Ow!
Wendell rubs his arm and then braces the large metal dog cage with his hands. He looks at David, who reaches for the lock on the chained wooden door with the keys in his hand.
You ready then?
Darlene blocks David and stands between him and the chained wooden door.
Let me do this.
Darlene, we're going to open the door. We don't have time for this.
This is Lenny!
Darlene!
He gestures to the chained wooden door and then braces the large metal dog cage again.
Come on, David. Let's go.
He is our family. I can do this.
Okay.
Are you sure?
Darlene stares back at him intently.
Fine.
David unlocks the chained wooden door. Darlene opens it slowly and kneels.
Lenny? Lenny, baby? Come here. Come here, it's all right.
Darlene reaches in.
Yeah. That's my good boy.
Darlene pulls back her arm and is holding hands with Lenny Hamilton, a normal-looking little boy. His face and clothes are covered with blood. Lenny stops and looks at the rest of the family. He sees Francis, crosses to him, and takes his bandaged hand. Lenny gently examines it for a moment and then looks up at Francis. Francis smiles at him.
Hey, Lenny. Hey, baby. Excited?
The lights crossfade from the basement to a small area to which Francis crosses.
We live with a disease. Mom used to say it was the one thing that kept us close. I always thought it was the one thing that would keep us apart. But I was wrong. And everything you thought you knew about us is wrong. We live in the houses next to you. We work in the stores you shop at. Our kids play with your kids. And everything you read in books or see in the movies entertains us just as much. Maybe a little more. We're just trying to be an ordinary family. Trying to figure out where we fit in the world. But we do need blood. And we need a lot of it. Preferably fresh. And not frozen.
Lenny enters, running to Francis. The lights rise to full on what is now the doorstep of their new home. David, Darlene, and Wendell all enter as well, carrying boxes and various household items. As they reach the step, David turns as hearing someone call to him. The others turn as well.
Oh, howdy yourself. Yes, it is a beautiful neighborhood.
He looks around.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, if we need anything, we'll certainly do that. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know where my head is today.
He extends his hand.
We're the Thompsons.
Francis, David, Darlene, and Wendell all smile. Lenny stays close to Francis and holds his hand. Fade to black. End of play.
What does it mean to be happy? To be content in the world around you? Mom used to say it was family, that family's the heart of everything, even existence. Without it, there's nothing. She always had these simple answers that always sounded so brilliant. Then she died.
And you can scream all you want to. Just know one thing. I am going to kill you.